Hello everyone, welcome to day 3 of the Python coding challenge. I'm Much, welcome to Center Dev. Let's get into it. Booleans. Boolean type represents one of the two values, true or false. The use of these data types will be clear once we start using the comparison operator. The first letter T for true or F for false should be capital. There are 4 types of operators that we will be looking at: assignment operators, arithmetic operators, comparison operators, and logical operators. Assignment operators. These are used to assign values to variables. Let us take the equal to sign as an example. Equal sign in mathematics shows that two values are equal. However, in Python, it means we are storing a value in a certain variable, and we call it assignment or assigning value to a variable. The arithmetic operators. There's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, floor division, and exponentiation. The addition is marked with a addition plus sign, subtraction with a negative minus sign, multiplication is marked with the asterisk, division with a forward slash, modulus with a percentage, floor division with double forward slash, and exponential with the double asterisk. Comparison operators. In programming, we compare values. We use comparison operators to compare two values. We check if a value is greater or less or equal to other values. For example, in the table below, here are Python comparison operators which can be taken from the W3 schools. Logical operators. Unlike other programming languages, Python uses keywords and, or, and not for logical operators. Logical operators are used to combine conditional statements, such as in this example, x is less than 5 and x is less than 10, to check for a Boolean statement if x is true to be less than 5 and less than 10, which means x is either less than 5 or less than 10. The or, which will return true if one of the statements is true. It can either be less than 5 or it can be less than 4. It cannot be either or, like the AND operator. The NOT operator, as seen in this example, reverses the result and returns false if the statement is indeed true. From exercises in day 3, we can see that we utilize the previous day's exercises and examples to start off the day's exercises. We're declaring variables of integers and floats, and we're declaring the variables that store complex numbers, as is seen in today's examples as well. But here we are going to focus on the arithmetic operators that calculate equations of slopes, the circle radius, the circumference of a circle, and comparing and using comparison operators to compare between the two slopes. We then would also calculate the value of y in a quadratic equation to figure out the values of x and y, to which will bring the value of y to 0. We also find the length within the string variables Python and Dragon and do a comparison between the two strings. We then focus on getting the user to put in an input for calculating the person's age, and utilizing the assignment operators and arithmetic operators to calculate the user's age and take in the input of the user's age to calculate the amount of weeks they are paid for a working day and the amount of time they've lived given their age in seconds. So let's talk about the landmines in your code. The things that will cause you to stare at your code for an hour wondering why it's not working. So let's take this for example. If x equals 5, print hello. But we know that the equal sign is an assign operator. If x double equal to 5, print hello, we know that double equals is a Boolean comparison. So remember this. One equal sign is for assignment. You're putting a value into a variable. Two equal signs is for comparison. You're checking if two values are the same. So let's look at integer division and true division. That's the 1// and the 2//. through division and floor division. So think of it like pizza. If you have 10 slices and 3 friends, 10 double/3 tells you each person gets 3 whole slices, while 10/3 tells you the precise mathematical truth that it's 3.33 recurring slices per person. It's very different use cases, right? And another point that confuses people is the behavior of and the or operators. So this one actually blows people's minds. They don't always return true and false. They return the actual value of one of the operands. So the rule is and returns the first falsely value, or in other words, the last value if all are truth. The or returns the first truth value, or in other words, the last if all are falsely. Okay, now for actual Pythonic ways to use these operators. These make your code cleaner and more readable. For the first one, the chain comparisons. In many languages, to check if a number is between 5 and 10, you'd have to write if x is greater than 5 and if x is less than 10. Not in this case with Python. In this case, we look at the if statement. If 5 is less than x and if x is less than 10, we can write it as such. So for things that are in a string value, you know you can use the in operand with lists, but it's incredibly powerful with strings too. For example, this piece of code. This is a foundation for searching through text, validating input, and so much more. Moving on, the Boolean check of is operand and the double equal to sign. This is a bit more advanced. Double equals checks if values are equal to each other, while the is operand checks if they are the exact same object in the memory. Let's look at this piece of code. A has a sorted list of 1 to 3. B has the exact same thing, and C variable is assigned A. We can then print out that A equals B, which has the same values, but we can't say the same for using the is operand when we say A is B, because it's two different objects. We can say that A is C due to the fact that we assigned it as A, that being C, in the variables above. For now, just remember, you'll almost always want the equal to sign for equality. Use the is operand when you specifically care about object identity, like checking for none if value is none. So what have we learned? We learned how to ask questions about our data. Is it equal? Is it greater? Or is it in the list? But what do we do with the answers? As of right now, nothing. We can ask the questions, but we can't act on them as of yet. So that is all for now. On day 4, we will be looking at strings. The Python strings as sequence of characters and the methods of using strings. I hope you learned something from today's lesson. I hope you gained some information, and if you did, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and please leave a comment, as this will help me understand if you are enjoying the videos and if I should continue with this type of content. Thank you and goodbye.